G'day folks, it's Revan here, hope you're all doing well, and I have to say it's great to be here, my friends. Well, I have to say that first and foremost, about the title, and you're currently wondering what's it all about, so I'm going to give you a bit of a story to lead up to the actual event, what happened in the end. So basically what happened was that one of my work colleagues was pretty much let go from the workplace, and we worked alongside with each other for the last 12 months, and he's a great bloke from South Africa. Unfortunately, he was let go because of load shedding. Now, if you don't understand what's happening over at South Africa, there are some places in South Africa like they have power for an X period of time, and then they have it off and they have it back on again. You know, they kind of like swap it around because of the power grid or whatever it is over there. They can't handle the whole city or something like that. It's kind of weird, but at the same time that I'm kind of glad we don't have that happening here in Australia. Hopefully things in South Africa will improve though. But the way my friend was telling me about it was that due to the load shedding and everything that was going on for him, he said that he won't be able to perform what he had to do. But at the same time though, that the workplace couldn't find him at fault for his performance because his performance was going way above and beyond. He actually offered the idea of transferring from South Africa and moving to Australia. Now the company thought about it, the idea, and basically declined it. And pretty much at the end of the day, he was like, said, oh well, you know, this is it, you know, you have to be let go. So unfortunately the company decided to let him go, and that was it. He wasn't exactly unhappy with the whole thing because he was actually happy with the outcome, because he was actually starting to become unhappy with the role in the company in the ways, and in the end he felt that, you know, if you're starting to become unhappy, it's time to move on. And pretty much he was happy with the outcome. He really was. So I'm really glad to hear that he actually made the move. Now, in all seriousness though, when it came down to me though, I have to admit though that there's a lot of situations in my current workplace that had been going through a lot of harassment and bullying issues, unfortunately. And there are some common factors about this that is not acceptable, especially at any level whatsoever. And it was getting to the point that it just felt uncomfortable to be in that current workplace and environment, and I could see a lot of tensions was happening in the workplace. There was a lot of fights going on at some point, and you know, sometimes it's best to stay clear from it all as best you can. Unfortunately, there were some situations that I got caught in the middle and off guard at many occasions where I thought my integrity was in check or being questioned here. And unfortunately there are some situations that I felt that it was actually pretty bad. I was developing a very strong anxiety mode. I had problems sleeping well at night, and it got to the point that I was also having problems with trying to deal with, you know, mental health issues as well too. So it wasn't going well. I had acknowledged and taken initiative to do something about it, but unfortunately it was getting worse by the week, by the day, with everything that's been going on with all these commotions unnecessarily. And pretty much it got to the point that I was just like sitting down to myself like, I don't think my friends would appreciate to see me looking like shit on stream or on game or in person in a way, and because like they want to see the, you know, the positive side of Revan and feeling happy, bubbly and cheerful and all this kind of stuff, you know. In all seriousness though, for those who don't know me that well, it takes a lot to really beat me down and hit me with depression, and unfortunately this was a good example of my job causing this. It was causing me with unnecessary stress and pain, and it got to the point that I was not enjoying it anymore. So even though I love the job for what I did at the time and still do to this day, it's just that, you know, with all this unnecessary factors as, you know, happening, it's starting to, you know, make make certain decisions. Now, a good example was that most recently in the last 2 months, I haven't been paid on time. And it's not just me, it's the entire business, and it was actually annoying. Whatever the excuses we were given at the time, you know, like for example, from cyber attacks to human error to other excuses that, you know, we understand, and basically we were just going like, well, as long as we're gonna pay 2 or 3 days later, which it happens, and it was good and all when it was done manually. However, it was getting to the point that it was getting too repetitive, and we were getting annoyed because, like, you know, if for those who have loans, debts, or anything like that going on, you need to have solid income, for crying out loud, and we can't afford not to have solid income. Now, in this case, that I was getting sick and tired of whatever the reason, whatever has been said, I was just getting pointed at like, come on, you know, like, it's okay to say this is a one-off thing, you know, like if it's a human error or something like a cyber attack that happened, sure, we can accept that as a one-off thing. But if it becomes consistent in, you know, like whatever's been going on, and even though management says we're onto it, we're trying to resolve it, that's all well and good, but that's not good enough. I actually did say at one point I was not happy about that, what was going on. So I was actually not exactly thrilled with the idea, so I actually started looking for alternatives. Now, I was reaching out to one of my friends who had been working in the previous company that I used to work with for quite some time, because I found out that he returned back there in his role about 12 months ago, funnily enough, and he's in a different role, which is much better and everything. And the funny thing is about this story was that he reached out to me actually by email on that same day, which is kind of funny because when I sent an email, I actually had an email from him literally 5 minutes after, and it was a brand new email, and I did not expect that. Maybe he was thinking of me. I don't know, probably it's like touch wood, you know, it's good luck, or whatever it is. Anyway, I thought it was great. Anyway, I read his email and I was very shocked that there was an opportunity that he was thinking of me, and he was just wondering if I was still interested in looking at the possibility of coming back to work with him. Now, I have to say that this is an opportunity that I was not expecting at all. Now, we all seen, you know, most recently what happened with Lions Tech Tips, for example, about him stepping down from the CEO role to do something that he loves and enjoying, right? Now, I felt like I was similar to that story. In this case, now I found an opportunity to find something I do love and enjoy, and this is my window to take it. So I basically looked through the opportunity. I actually called my mate up and I said like, hey man, I was like, it's great to hear from you. I just thought to call you instead. And he goes like, you know, that's great. I was like, do you have 10 minutes to chat? I was like, sweet. And the 10-minute conversation became an hour. Well, so much for 10 minutes, right? But hey, why not? You know, you may as well do it with style. So anyways, we had a bit of good, you know, shenanigans and joke moment, talking with each other and, you know, just, you know, about family and stuff. And then we broke down the conversation to the nitty-gritty about what we were trying to do. And then I actually said to him, it's like, hey, out of curiosity, were you thinking of me at the time? And he goes like, yeah. And it's like, I saw your email. It's like 5 minutes later, and I thought it was strange that you sent me an email asking me if there's any opportunities and stuff, and well, funnily, I sent you an email 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago earlier that I said there was, and I burst out laughing. It's like, maybe the force was with us. Hey, who knows? But he chuckled and laughed about that, and then he said like, hey, look, you know, let's talk about this. So we seriously had a good chat about it all, the opportunity and everything, and it got down to the point that I was telling him, yeah, I'm very interested in the new opportunity. So we talked about it for about an hour in total, and in the end, the outcome was that he said to me, look, you know, it sounds like to me that, you know, with the previous or current employment that you're going with right now, that you're clearly not happy with everything that's going on, and you're looking at alternatives, and now this is an opportunity for you to decide. And I turned around and said like, yeah, well, look, I know that it's all sudden and everything, but how, you know, like certain can you make it happen? And then basically he turned around and said to me, it's like, I'll tell you what, it's like, I know that you don't work on weekends, but I'll get back to you on Saturday. Saturday came and went, and basically I had an email from him with paperwork for the new role, a letter and offer straight away for the new opportunity. And I was kind of like, wow. So I had a look at this opportunity and everything, and I have asked him if I could say what the name of the company is and everything, and he told me it's best not to mention it because it's best to keep it low profile. So I decided that's probably for the best as well. But the good news is, I'm telling you this good news now, is because that I feel so much happier that I'm moving on from something that I don't like. So pretty much the good news is, folks, is that the new job I'm going to is actually similar to game design role, and it is with, you know, a game designing company and everything, and I'm happy with this opportunity. But at the same time, I get to go into a brand new role similar to what I had been doing before, but with a better title, better pay, and better outcome as operations manager. And that's great for the Australasia region, and it's gonna be fantastic for what I'm gonna do. Now, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, and the company is something that I had worked with in the past, and I'm really excited about, you know, working in game design again. But this time it's now I'm in the management position, so it's a different story. But at the same time, I'm doing something that I love, and that's more important, right? Because like, if you're doing something that you love and you're passionate about and enjoying yourself, that's more important than feeling like you're dragging yourself on your feet. And yeah, so I actually signed the paperwork and sent it off to him pretty much this afternoon. And pretty much I did call him up and I said like, hey man, do you have 5 minutes? And he goes like, yeah, what's up? And he goes like, well, just letting you know, I signed the paperwork and I have agreed with it. But he did tell me though, he's like, one thing I have to ask though is like, we didn't discuss about, you know, about the starting date or anything. And then I turned around and said to him, it's like, I'll tell you what, you expect me to be there by the 1st of July. And he said to me, that's actually not a bad call, because end of the financial year's around the corner pretty much right now. June's just like pretty much next door. So pretty much he said like, look, you know, just take it from there and just you know, tell your current job that you call it quits, and then we'll take it from there. And pretty much from there on in, I got an email from his HR department, because he's a day behind us in terms of time zone. And he basically had the HR department send me the letter of offer, confirmation and everything, and at the same time orientation paperwork to do. And pretty much they didn't muck around. So basically I have a new job starting in July, which is fantastic. I'm looking very much forward to it. I'm actually really happy. I'm really excited now. I have to admit that with my current role, I was actually really disappointed, because I was surrounded with a great group of people that I had enjoyed, with the fact of, you know, banthering, and at the same time that they were very supportive of me for doing what I want to do and stuff. But at the same time that one of my colleagues who is higher rank than me was going for an excruciating rough time. Like, for example, management was trying to get him to do something, and pretty much it got down to that the management wasn't exactly happy what it was doing, because the clients were actually whinging, complaining, and pretty much the guy said like, you know, my work colleague said like, I was doing what was required from you guys, and there's a lot of misunderstanding going on from the upper management, because like there's, you know, he said, she said kind of thing. So basically he said like, I'm fed up with this, and like giving half-assed information. It's like, we should be given all the information we need from the start to finish. The funny thing about this was that upper manager just turned around and told him, it's like, wow, I mean, like, we assumed you know what you know what you need. And then he goes, I don't assume anything, because like, I asked for this information, you're supposed to provide it, and you never did. So that was actually pretty rough. That was pretty rough to see that kind of thing going on. I felt sorry for him. I really did, actually. And he vented during our Friday Arvo games about the whole situation, and I was respecting about that. I was like listening, going like, oh, Jesus. But you know, the funny thing about it is that we as a team came up with the idea and said, hey, look, respond back with this idea, and then basically have the team leader, because our team leader was there, and have him CC'd in the conversation and see what happens. Because like he was having a bit of misunderstanding between the project team and operations. So the funny thing is that projects team turned around and gave him a different strange response, and the upper management was involved as well. And then basically they're like, what the F is this? So it's driving him mad in the end. So I can understand, you know, my poor colleague was going through an excruciating time. So I have to admit that was another good example of that. So seeing that at firsthand what's going on to him, I felt sorry for him what's going on. But you know, if it happened to me, that convinced me I don't want that opportunity. So yeah, that gave me a good reason to get out as soon as I can. But yeah, I pretty much with my current job I have called it quits. So pretty much I have given myself 6 months, 6 weeks, sorry. I wish it was 6 months. Hey, 6 months leave. Yeah, sure, why not? No, 6 weeks leave. So pretty much it'll give me a time to, you know, rest, recuperate, and get back in the swing of things. But yeah, pretty much I had let my workplace know that I'm moving on. And yeah, it's time for me to step into a new journey. So I'm looking forward to it, definitely, for sure. I have to admit though, the new role sounds pretty exciting, and the opportunity it presents is even more exciting, and that's more important to see me very happy and going forward. Real shame though, because like I was really enjoying it, but you know, like when I had my 12 months anniversary shortly after Anzac Day, despite of, you know, like the nice meeting we had, the KPI you know, meeting I had with my team leader, which was pretty good, by the way, and it was looking pretty positive. And then during the next day I had a day off. Then I had a couple of complaints about me, which was really negative, that knocked me back from a possible promotion or getting a bonus pay. Well, you know, like that was the outcome of it on Friday. And now, after all that commotion happened, I had been depressed for a very long time, and now I have been freed. And I'm looking forward to moving on from it all and doing something I really like, and I'm really loving it every step of my journey. So I'm looking forward to it, folks. I really am. So yeah, onwards and upwards, as they say. So 1st of July I move over to my new role, and then hopefully do for the best. But with my current job, well, I pretty much will finish probably pretty much by the end of the month, in the way of May. So pretty much after this video, I pretty much put ready, you know, called it quits and told my team leader that I'm moving on. So he was aware of it. He's not disappointed about it, because he understood the reasons why I made this outcome. So he was very supportive, and he's a great bloke, and I thank him very much for his understanding in going forward with this. But yeah, overall though, I'm just glad things worked out for the best overall. But yeah, folks, stay safe, take care, and yeah, before I go, just one thing I will point out: if you're not happy with your current job or anything like that, do yourself a favor, find something first before you actually quit your job. Because like I have seen some of my friends just quit the job for the sake of it and still struggling. It's very important, folks, to find something first, have something lined up, then go. Don't do the other way around. But anyways, folks, stay safe, take care, and definitely have a good time. And onwards and upwards. Have a good one, folks.